before we get going on the agenda, I just want to pass on to everybody. As you notice, one of our board members is not present with us, Mr. Rivera. We got word that his son passed away, and so he's obviously devastated. His son is 31 years old, and he's dealing with that situation. So if we can take a moment of silence to respect and provide our silent condolences, I'd appreciate that. Okay, thank you very much. At this time, let's see, we have well, I guess not really a guest, but we have a...
I'm in.
You're it? Okay. Can you...
Great Carey.
Great Carey, representing...
Aqua.
Thank you. And I know you're not a guest, but maybe you could...
I'm Jimmy McCary. I'm a Widener co-op, and I'm co-oping here for 8 months. I'm a rising senior right now, so studying civil engineering.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
You lucked out. If Lenny was here, he would have
Yeah,
really
yeah.
with questions.
I warned him.
You got lucky.
Yeah, you were ready. Did you have some prep questions so you could...
I told him he had to do a presentation.
Yeah. Okay, do we have any public comment on our agenda items? None? Okay. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from December 19th, 24th?
Second.
Mr. Brandon.
Yes.
Mr. Herford.
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalit.
Yes.
Mr. Shelton.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Washburger.
Yes.
Mrs. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 6. Do we have any action items from our executive session?
Mr. Chairman, we do not. I do have one item I'd like to bring up under new business. And in executive session, which commenced at 11 o'clock today, we had an information briefing on issues involving operational issues about the authority and administrative issues. And you also received a briefing on litigation matters involving the Pennsylvania Supreme Court case, which is pending, involving the ability of the city of Chester to exercise dominion and control over the authority. That case is pending. And we also discussed the federal bankruptcy case, which is also pending, and some of the issues arising there. So, but no action.
How about your solicitor's report?
Nothing further other than what we covered in the executive session.
Anything regarding awards or?
I'll bring that up on. I mean, I can do it now or on new business. Either.
You can do it now.
Yeah, we don't need a vote on this, but I had been talking to the board about this for a while, and that is to establish a public water warrior award. So what we'll do is we're announcing today that we're going to have the first annual public water warrior award. It would be an award designed to honor an individual or an organization for their heroic efforts in safeguarding Pennsylvania's public water from privatization. It would celebrate the unwavering commitment to improving access, affordability, and water quality, leaving a lasting positive impact on communities across the Commonwealth. So we'll have more about that at future meetings, probably as soon as February, but it would involve us considering eligible candidates and then issuing the award at least annually. We'll proceed with that. Thank you.
Moving to item 8, the Chief Financial Officer's report. There's item 1 there, request to approve the expenses by function report. We have a motion for that. So moved.
Second. Mr. Brandon.
Yes.
Mr. Herford.
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalit.
Yes.
Mr. Shelton.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Washburger.
Yes.
Mrs. Whitaker.
Muted.
Oh,
You muted.
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries.
okay, moving on to item 9A, request to approve option year acceptance for contract 22-022, furnishing concrete masonry structural services for $85,467.16.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Brandon.
Yes.
Mr. Herford.
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalik.
Yes.
Mr. Shelton.
Here.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Washburger.
Yes.
Mrs. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to 9B, request to approve a change order number 1 for the 2023 water main renewal project, an increase of $179,428.90. May I have a motion for
So
that?
moved.
Second.
Mr. Brandon.
Yes.
Mr. Herford.
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalik.
Yes.
Mr. Shelton.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Washburger.
Yes.
Mrs. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item 10A, the executive manager report, request to approve annual renewal of subscription to the Water Research Foundation for 2025 in the amount of $26,658.
I so moved.
Second.
Mr. Brandon.
Yes.
Mr. Herford.
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalik.
Yes.
Mr. Shelton.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Washburger.
Yes.
Mrs. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 10B is the notice of annual statement of financial interest due by May 1st, 2025. May I have a motion for item 10B?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Brandon.
Yes.
Mr. Herford.
Yes.
Mrs. Mahalik.
Yes.
Mr. Shelton.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Washburger.
Yes.
Mrs. Whitaker.
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, if I, just so each board member has a copy of that in your packet, and also if you'd like to fill it out as a PDF, that same form is available on the Department of Labor and Industry website.
What's the best way for us? You want it today or
That was just before May 1st.
Yeah.
anytime before May 1st?
Yeah.
Anytime before May 1st, your discretion.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next item is new business. Do we have any new business? Okay. Do we have any old business? Any public comments?
No, sir.
No. Okay, if there's no public comment, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.